When a new generation of consoles come out, developers tend to like exploring what they can do given that new hardware. Sometimes you get stuff that works incredibly well, but most of the time you get some fantastic ideas that, while highly intriguing, fall short of excellence in many different ways. The game I'm looking at today, The Outfit, definitely falls in the latter category. Released relatively early in the 360's lifespan in 2006, The Outfit was one of the earliest attempts to adapt the traditionally PC real-time strategy genre to consoles, with a twist. The best thing I can liken it to is probably Brutal Legend, another game that most people have probably forgotten existed at this point. You control a single person laying down structures and emplacements as you go. But unlike more traditional strategy games, or even something like Brutal Legend, The Outfit is rather linear. Each map may have a single point where the road splits, but otherwise you're doing very specific things in a very specific order, the order the game wants you to do them in. There is some freedom in how you approach those objectives. You can drop in any vehicle or stationary weapon or group of troops you want if you have enough points, but it all feels very rudimentary, extremely basic. But it's still a whole hell of a lot of fun dropping in a tank randomly, dropping in some guys, jumping in the tank with those guys, and blowing a ton of stuff up. The biggest issue the game really has is that it's a product of its time. The controls, as well as the camera, are very clunky, and the graphics don't fare much better. Add that to the extremely repetitive nature of the gameplay, and you've got a problem. Because as you go on, the game gets more and more repetitive, because it doesn't vary at all. The game's different missions are slightly different map layouts and vaguely mixed up sets of objectives that all end up feeling the same. Still, despite the fact that it hasn't really aged terribly well, I firmly believe The Outfit is still worth a look. Anyone who is either interested in how to do strategy properly on console, or at least a basic outline of how to do so, it's great for that, but it's also just kind of fun to blow stuff up, especially in the multiplayer, which also adds its own variety that the single-player campaign simply cannot offer. If you do decide to check this one out, it is extremely cheap on the used market. So cheap, in fact, that it makes it significantly easier to recommend, because you can then buy copies for your friends who you want to play multiplayer with, and do that. Every Friday, I look at a game that was either ignored when it came out, or has been forgotten since. A game that a lot of people have missed. And I see what makes it still worth playing today, and maybe even why people overlooked it in the first place, and why they shouldn't have. If you like that idea, be sure to subscribe so you can see the latest videos. If you like this review in particular, be sure to hit that like button. And if you have suggestions for a future episode, be sure to leave a comment below. Thanks for watching.